Yeah, thanks for coming, Matt.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I obviously know you. Mark doesn't know you well, but you guys are getting to know each other now. He's very interested as well. We kind of want to go over the beginning of how you got involved with MMA in Ohio in general. What are your thoughts on all of that? And we're just gonna give the floor to you because
all right.
We just bring us from day one.
What brief history, huh?
Yeah, because I've said it, and I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass, but I think RFO is the best thing that's happened to this area for MMA ever. There's been a bunch of promotions, but nobody's done it quite like you and as well as you. So I'm as interested as anybody else to know.
Okay.
Like, start us off.
My older brother, I've always been real competitive with my brother Chad, and he fought in tough man competitions, and I would go watch him and be like, this ain't that hard. I'd watch him, he'd do well. So I didn't train or anything, and I just did. In 2000, I did a tough man competition, and I lost my first bout in that, and then I came back and did it again, and I actually saw that I was pretty decent. I did pretty decent at it. And then that's when MMA started. It's like 2003, 2004, MMA started picking up. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be doing. So I went and found the best wrestlers. They weren't friends of mine. These guys didn't like me. I didn't like them.
And this is before social media, so it's kind of a little harder to get a hold of people.
Well, I just ran them to them at the bar,
Oh, okay.
Mitch Weitzel and Josh Hendricks. Those were the two guys that I reached out to.
Josh Hendricks is a bad guy.
Yeah, they could wrestle, and I needed to learn to wrestle. So that's like 2004, 2005. And I didn't want to go to the UFC. That was never my goal. I wanted to compete, and then I wanted to be a manager. That's what I wanted to do. So I got decent at MMA. We opened the Rec Room Athletics, the gym, Mitch and I did. And then we would go to all these shows, and my wife would go with me. We'd sit there, and these shows would go on forever. There'd be an hour intermissions, they're trying to sell beer, and you'd get home like 3 a.m. So I just took mental notes on the things that I would improve if I ever did a show. Tony Prey was involved with that Rec Room, and he came up to us and was like, dude, we could do our own show. Because we were going to shows, you know how it was in the beginning. It was like every other weekend.
Every other weekend, yeah.
So we can do our own shows. We got enough guys in the gym. And we figured out how to get a license, and that's what we started. We started as a Rec Room Fight Series.
I remember that.
It was me, Tony, and Mitch. And then Mitch wanted the gym. He wanted to make the gym bigger than we just wanted a fight club, pay the bills, that was it. He wanted to turn it into a legitimate gym. So
Money-making gym.
Yeah, he wanted to turn it into a business. So he gave us the fights, and then he took over the gym. And then Tony became a Columbus police officer, and then he gave the RFO to us.
Wow.
He said he couldn't do it anymore. We weren't making any money at that time at all. NAFS was still had cheese at that time.
I was still Fight Fest days as well.
Yeah.
Remember Fight Fest?
Yeah. Fight Fest was still there. I can't remember what year it was where we switched from Rec Room to Revelation Fight Organization, because I didn't want to be tied to a gym, especially now. The more that you do that, the more you see guys that are tied to a gym, you just question the matchups and all that.
The politics involved.
Yeah,
it goes on now. If I was fighting for a gym's organization, I would probably feel the same way.
Right.
I'd be like, oh, what are they trying to pull here?
Yeah, and I show people the fight cards. There was fights, and if I trained with you, you're probably going to have a tougher time fighting.
Yeah, which I appreciate that.
I put Cody in with guys that he had he should have been. He could hardly. He had a leg injury. He could hardly walk, and he fought Nate Jolly, Jolly had like 50 fights at the time. No business in there, but I know Cody's tough. I know him personally. All right, Cody, go fight this dude. And so these guys in Mansfield, they got tougher matchups because I knew them personally. It was never about getting an easy match, but I didn't. Even when the RFO got bigger, I quit training altogether.
Okay.
Just because of that. And one of the reasons I quit promoting is because no matter what you say or do, someone's always going to see the bad. Someone's always going to think there's politics going on.
Oh, yeah. You're always, no matter how many people, what I've noticed is no matter how many people think you're the best at this or you're great, you're very fair, there's always a couple guys that think that you're cheating them some way or you're screwing them another way.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just going to go on record right now is I could never do it. I would end up throwing, going blow to blow with somebody.
Right.
If they came after me, attacking me, and what, all the work that you and your family have done to put this, this fight card on, and they came back and tried to bash that, it used to piss me off just hearing about.
Yeah, you'd see it.
Yeah, I would see it firsthand. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I mean, like.
But that's like, the more I understand just thought patterns and people's behavior, their minds are already made up. So, all right, if they say they lose a fight, and then they're like, man, I was set up to lose that fight. So they just feed that thought, and then they start making all these other accusations, and they'll even see something small. Like if I smile after a fight, I love to see a good fight. I don't care who wins. Oh man, he was laughing after that fight. He was laughing after I lost. So many tickets. That's why he wanted me to lose. It's like, so they just feed that thought pattern, and then it's hard to bust your ass, like Jeff said, and then you're still somebody's bad guy, even though you made all these sacrifices or gave them.
And you gave us a platform to do what we love. And I'd never go into a fight thinking that there's no chance that I'm going to lose. So people that go into a fight thinking like, oh, I got set up to lose, like this guy that you might be fighting a hometown hero, and they might hope that he wins, but it's your job to prove him wrong.
Right, exactly.
Like, nobody's in there. It's not like you were in there, tripping the guy before he got taken down or something. You know what I mean? Like, you had nothing to do with the outcome of that fight.
Yeah. And this is like specifically, you can look at who beat Cody in the RFO, and they're in the UFC.
Yeah.
There's not one guy that beat Cody in the RFO that didn't go to the big show.
That's crazy.
So they took advantage. Okay, we got to fight. We got to go to this dude's hometown
and beat him.
Yeah, we got to beat him. Why? Because we want to go to the next level.
Nope.
So if you're not willing to do that, so I don't know. I don't have hard feelings towards MMA because I met so many good people. It taught me so many. I was just a regular guy, and I learned so much about business, self-belief. Like we came up from nothing, and then a bunch MMA scene. The whole scene in Ohio was a bunch of street guys that knew how to fight, and then we just turned it into like it's a whole subculture.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's to me, like, so I started this, I call it a journey because it feels like a lifetime. It's been over half my life almost.
Yeah, dude, high school
Lots
I
of sacrifices.
Right, I quit. I didn't quit. I was done with wrestling. I started wrestling late. I was kind of a natural at it. I was just, you know what it is. Like, somebody's more experienced than you, they're probably going to beat you, even though I'm tougher or whatever. So I got into MMA, and I got my ass kicked for a good 2 years by the Tony Sylvester and Chuck Ellison, all these guys that were doing it, just tough guys. They were grown men, and but like they kind of invited me into that culture because they could see I had a little bit of potential, and then like you get all the at shows you see all these people with from their team like Strong Style and Evolve and Victory, all these guys. It was like you might have to fight somebody from that team, but like when it comes down to it, we were all one big family, and that's what I felt like RFO was kind of brought that atmosphere of family together. Yeah. And I thought you did that better than anybody because you were there for the fighters, and other organizations are not there for the fighters. We're just pawns to them. They're there for the money. And
in their defense, in those other promotions' defense, what we had going for us is it wasn't our gig. Like my wife and I, everyone involved, we had other jobs. These other organizations, like they're just matchmakers, or they're just fight promoters. So if we had a break-even night, my wife and I could consider that it's good.
That's a win. Yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah.
And if you leave with $3,000, that's hell yeah. But if you leave with we lost $4,000 in one of our fights, and it wasn't like, oh my God, the lights are going out. Because we have another job.
Right.
But what that created was people started to do desperate shit. They would like, all right, so this is our ticket seller. We got to push this guy or whatever. Or there was one of the worst things that I saw in a promotion was if you took tables tickets and didn't sell them, you still had to pay for all.
Yeah, that almost happened to me once. I was like, you're out of your mind.
And they had to do that to cover their ass. They have to make money. But if you have people bail on you and you got 3 tables worth of tickets, that's
that happened to me at one of your shows. Actually, I got 2 tables and a whole table bailed on me last minute, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Here you go. I'm sure the table sold.
Yeah.
Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But if I would have left you with that bill, say you're making 1 and 1, and that table's $3,000, you lost $1,000 to go in there and put your ass on the line.
Right.
So that's.
I feel like you did it right, and I think a lot of people. The promotions now, I couldn't even name a local promotion right now, which is kind of bad. But they could take some notes from you guys. You guys did a really good job.